know it. And I thought it was a nice metaphor for what I think is true in a lot of places. There are a lot of people who have enormous affection for music and who make music, and in fact actually make some rather beautiful music. And we never hear them or see them or notice them because there are only a handful of people that sing at the Met or at Carnegie Hall or at Lincoln Center, or even in big cities. There still leaves a huge part of the country, and there is vibrant life in people all over. Inspired by the redbud, there's some bloom that's going to come forward, I hope, today, that normally you don't see or hear. We're going to have guitar music, classical guitar, which may not be familiar to all of you. And certainly when you hear it up close, had the great fortune to run into Cliff DeMay, and he plays some of my favorite classical guitar pieces. They are warm. When you hear these guitar pieces, especially of some of the great Spanish composers, you can almost see the olive trees and smell the blossoms of the orange trees and the feel of the Mediterranean Sea. And perhaps even beyond that, be awakened to what a gift it is to just simply be alive, to be present. And music somehow is a time, in a way, that gets beyond our words and brings it home. We're also then going to hear some Russian gypsy music that is very poignant music. It speaks about living in life kind of right at the deep, raw edge of love and jealousy and oppression. Gypsies had to scrabble and struggle to have an existence, and it's reflected in their music. And then the third thing we will have, which is the sort of selfish part of this, is when I began composing music, I realized, number one, I should have an instrument other than the piano, which I am a kind of unskilled pianist. And it occurred to me that maybe voice is something I should try to do. Not to be a great singer, but just to learn about how the voice works, so that if you're writing music for the voice, you know what you're doing, hopefully. So I, about a year and a half ago, began studying voice and concert with composing. And so I took some poems that I think also reflect this springtime, this moment of being present in rebirth and kind of visceral part of life. The poet Hafiz writes this kind of poetry, and I set 3 of his poems, and we will hopefully perform those for you today as well. And then in with a setting of a poet whose work I like, and actually who is a local poet, Sarah Lindsay, and that poem will close the program. So we're going to begin with guitar and a set of classical guitar pieces with